Hello, and welcome to Season 4 of Scaling Success, a podcast geared towards entrepreneurs where we discuss a range of topics that contribute to building a valuable and long-lasting business. If you're new to the podcast, please subscribe on Spotify and or YouTube. I am incredibly honored today to welcome to the podcast Katherine Kostereva, founder and CEO of Creatio, a leading no-code platform to automate workflows and CRM. Recognized as a thought leader in the technology space, Katherine has received several industry awards, including being named among the top 50 women leaders in SaaS and as EY Entrepreneur of the Year in Massachusetts. She is also a co-author of the No-Code Playbook, a vendor-agnostic guide on no-code automation that has been downloaded more than 20,000 times. Creatio is headquartered right here in Boston, Massachusetts, with 800 employees globally in 6 offices and a local presence in 14 countries. Creatio has long-standing relationships with thousands of customers and partners, with 700 GSIs and local integrators representing Creatio worldwide. Creatio also happens to be a Volition Capital portfolio company following our initial investment in 2021. Since that time, I have been trying to get Katherine on the podcast, and she is finally here. Katherine, welcome.
Thank you very much, Sean. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you for having me.
Katherine, I figured, we're going to cover a range of topics during this discussion, but I thought it would be helpful for our listeners just to hear a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey and what motivated you to start Creatio.
Oh, absolutely. And I started my journey, professional journey, quite some time ago. It was back in 90s when I got my first job. It was actually internship, not a job at that time, at IBM. And I can tell you that since then, I've been in the software industry since then. And since then, I had this bug in my head, if you will, about giving an opportunity to organizations to automate their workflows within hours or days rather than quarters and years, as it has traditionally been, let's say, in our enterprise software industry. 10 years ago, we founded Creatio with this exact mission to give this opportunity to organizations all around the world to automate their workflows and CRM with the help of a no-code platform and AI within a very, very short period of time.
Great. And Katherine, maybe tell our listeners a little bit about what makes Creatio a unique solution for your customers, and why is it such a powerful platform compared to some other vendors in the market?
Oh, happy to, absolutely. It is very hard to scale the business of any size, I believe, if you don't have a very clear differentiation and the value that you bring to our clients. So in a case of Creatio, it's pretty straightforward. Time to value from the moment when we start working with the client until the moment when they actually start using the platform, then the platform goes live, is shorter than with any other vendor on the market. So this is number one. Secondly, this is actually the freedom to implement your vision about automation of the workflows in the organization, and again, on the fly, as fast as you potentially can. And thirdly, it is literally one platform, the single platform that you use to automate your front office operations, middle office operations. We operate at Creatio with genuine care. We hear it a lot from clients and partners. It's a little bit different approach than you traditionally see on the enterprise software market.
Actually, I was going to save this question for later, but since you went there, Katherine, I had a chance to see that firsthand at the No Code Days in Florida, which is an event bringing together employees, customers, partners, and the energy and sense of community was palpable. I felt it coming in. How have you managed to create that sense of community amongst the folks and constituents who play a role in this ecosystem?
Genuine care is the core value of Creatio. It's inside our DNA, if you will. And making sure that we treat all our clients and partners and team around the globe. We have team members in 25 countries of the world. We treat everyone with genuine care. This is foundational piece of Creatio. I frankly do believe that 5 values, that is the biggest strength of the company. And everything we create, starting from tech to processes to customer success, everything has been created by the team. And following these 5 values as one team with genuine care, with passion, strive for excellence, and grow every day, that's the foundational piece of Creatio.
Katherine, over the last few years, on occasion, people will ask me to describe you as a leader. And a few things that strike me from our experiences is that you have this really great ability to marry attention to detail with big picture strategic vision for where you want to take the company. But despite the topic, you bring a level of energy to the conversation that I think is felt throughout the organization. And my question for you is, what keeps you so energetic as it relates to Creatio's mission to this day?
Yeah, that's the mission itself. Like when you're doing the right thing, when you understand that you're on the right, like you're doing the right thing for the world, for people around you, even for yourself, you're on the mission that you've been wired to do, if you will. You're energetic all the time. It becomes part of you. You just can't exist in other state, if you will.
I think it's like, it's common advice that people provide. It's like, find what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I think you're a living
100%.
example of that.
I was just super fortunate, very, very fortunate, very fortunate.
How has, since the founding story 10 plus years ago, how has the vision changed over the years? And how do you as a leader stay nimble in the midst of a constantly evolving technology landscape?
We started with BPM engine, with business process management engine. And at that time, the product was actually called BPM Online. So we renamed it, and that's a separate story how we renamed it, as you know, but we renamed it literally in the sky. We were skydiving as a team of 180 people at that time, jumping from the plane with the flag Creatio in our hands. So, but the first initial name of the company was BPM Online, because the first thing we built was the crown jewel of Creatio. It's still the crown jewel of Creatio, is BPM, Business Process Management Engine, that runs actually all the workflows. And then we built a platform around it, and the no-code platform itself, it was the reason why we renamed the system into Creatio, because it is so much more than just the business process management engine. It's also the platform around this engine.
And as you look, I guess as you reflect upon what you've accomplished over the last 12 years, I'm sure there's always a new set of challenges that you're faced with every single day as a leader. But along that way, was there ever a moment in time when you kind of stopped and recognized that perhaps you were in the midst of really developing and commercializing a disruptive technology? Was there ever a moment in time where you said, like, wow, this really has the potential to turn into something special?
Yes and no. Because yes, from the first days when we actually acquired our first client and we saw the value that we deliver, because users started working with the system immediately and getting value from the application, we realized, okay, we actually built something super valuable. Or, for example, our partners who have been implementing other legacy CRM or workflow automation software products and then transitioned into Creatio and expanded their practices immensely with Creatio. So those were the moments of truth. But at the same time, I still believe, and I have this feeling that we're just starting. We're still at the beginning of the journey, although the valuation of the company is $1.2 billion, and we have thousands of clients and hundreds of partners and hundreds of employees. But still the feel is that the sky is the limit, and there are so many other opportunities on the market that Creatio can help to solve.
You mentioned the valuation of the company, Katherine. You recently completed a $200 million equity raise at $1.2 billion valuation, as you mentioned. So congratulations. It would be great to just hear your perspective on why did you decide to raise capital, and how will you be looking to invest some of that capital in the future?
Absolutely. So as you said, we bootstrapped the company, and we've been growing organically for many, many years until we found great partners, yourself and Horizon Capital. It was the beginning of 2021 when we raised capital for the first time. And this is our second capital raise. And there are two big reasons why we're doing that. One, we see a phenomenal potential of AI and embedding AI into Creatio technology. And obviously we have Copilot already embedded into Creatio, but the future is in autopilot, and that's where we're heading. So we need investment into this part of the business. And second one, Sean, we have clients. We're very fortunate to have clients and partners in 100 countries of the world. So to support this global community and to support our partners in every part of the world where we operate, we need investment and we need funding. And again, as the company continues to grow at 50% year over year, we obviously believe in the future and global expansion, and that's where the funds will go.
Katherine, Creatio is a great example of a company that remained bootstrapped, during the formative years of the business, and you already had meaningful scale before you chose to raise that first round of capital. We interact with founders and entrepreneurs all the time who are asking this question of when should I raise money? Why should I raise money? Based on your experience, it would be interesting to hear how you think about like the pros and cons of remaining bootstrapped as long as you did before you chose to kind of bring in an outside capital partner.
You know what, Sean? Maybe I'm a little bit risk averse from this perspective, because for me, raising capital was a huge responsibility, first and foremost. For the first time, and now the second time, we raised at 1.2 billion valuation. So I clearly understand that now we need to deliver 5x growth or more than that. Taking this responsibility was a big step for me. And I wanted to make sure that the product market fit exists, but not only the product market fit. We know exactly how to scale the organization efficiently. All the numbers are perfect, and we can be confident that if we take the investment, we will be able to deliver the returns. So that was our philosophy behind raising capital so late, if you will, in the history of the company. It worked out well. I guess, for everyone. Otherwise, Volition wouldn't invest again in this second round of capital raise. So we delivered the results that we promised, and this is just the way Creatio operates. If we commit to our clients, to our partners, to our investors, we deliver.
I've actually never asked you that question before, and I got to say I'm not surprised by the way you answered it, because it came back to I think some of the core tenets of how I would describe the Creatio culture. It's a culture of teamwork. It's a culture of performance and achievement. And you feel it when you walk into the office. I'd be interested to hear how you would describe the culture of Creatio, and how have you managed to get so many folks to really buy into the vision of where you want to take, the company going forward?
Yeah, I think we're very lucky to have this combination of genuine care from one side and performance-based or result-focused culture from the other side. And you're right, it does translate in everything we do, starting from our metrics and KPI, and the responsibility we take with every new client we sign. This is our responsibility to deliver the ROI to our clients and to our partners. Talking about values of Creatio, let me separate two things. There are values of the company that we all live and breathe. Passion, genuine care, one team, strive for excellence, and grow every day. So you're going to hear those 5 words all the time. You talk to Creatio team in our conversations. When we hire folks, we always check those 5 values. We talk about those 5 values during our annual reviews, even during one-on-ones. So you're going to be hearing about those 5 all the time. The other set of values or principles, if you will, are our management and leadership principles. So here we go more into performance-based culture, and focus on results, deliver the results is number one principle that every manager, every leader of Creatio has in mind. The second one is zero ego. We operate with zero ego. This is part of the culture. Doesn't matter what you have achieved. We have a new quarter in front of us. We have a new year in front of us. We need to go move forward and continue to deliver. The third one is this combination of trust or vulnerability, if you will, and accountability at the same time. So building trust with your folks, being sometimes vulnerable with your team, but at the same time keeping your team accountable all the time. The third one is step up the pace, like increase the intensity all the time. Like leaders are pacemakers of the organization. So every leader needs to know that, like you mentioned, you're always energetic at the meetings. I expect that from each and every leader of Creatio, because leaders and managers are those who actually define the pace of the organization. And the last one, the last but not least, raising the bar. No compromises with hires. And again, we can talk about hiring. That's a separate big topic. Raising the standards, raising the bar all the time. So those would be 5 principles of Creatio management and leadership.
I was going to ask you how you've been able to maintain the culture across multiple geographies and 800 plus employees, but I think you already answered that question by creating a framework to really guide hiring. At what point in the evolution of the company did you take really a thoughtful, organized approach towards codifying some of those characteristics that you're looking for in each of your employees?
When we hire, we look into 3 buckets. One is values. We talked about values. The second one is hard skills. And you always need to define those competencies, like competency-based hiring. Mm-hmm. And the third one is soft skills, right? And again, soft skills would be different for different roles and different jobs. So we cannot open the role at Creatio, a new rec at Creatio, without having a very detailed and thoughtful and thorough profile of competencies who exactly we're looking for. Because, for example, if you tell me that you're looking for a sales leader, or other CEO of the SaaS company is going to be talking about sales leadership hire, it could be completely different from what we're looking at Creatio at the current stage, right? Very different skills, soft skills and hard skills. So we honestly, so let me start by saying we do a ton of mistakes with hiring. Mm-hmm. But at least with this structured and framework approach, we try to minimize the number of mistakes.
And knowing you for the 3.5 years I guess almost 4 years that I've known you, Katherine, I'm guessing you've always been very detail-oriented and structured in your approach towards managing and leading a team. Is that fair? And really, how much thought and intentionality do you have to put towards that
That's
approach?
A very hard conversation because when you go into micromanagement, it can damage things as well. Mm-hmm. So being thoughtful, being like situational leadership and basic principles of situational leadership, they help a lot. Trying to be with my executive team, I try to be very strategic all the time and speak on the strategy level and delegation level. However, you're right. In some cases, in some projects, or if things go south, I need to go into the level of tiny details. But honestly, the less we do that as executives, the better it is. And again, it's part of the habit. You have to learn how to, at least I've been trying to learn how to get rid of those details and delegate more and make sure that we hire the right people who actually can do the job so much better than I can do. Like my executives in each particular area today, they do work much better than I do. Like better salespeople, obviously better architects and developers, solution consultants, and financial folks, legal, like they know it so much better than I do. So the time when I need to go into the details would be either super important project for the company on the strategic level, or we have problems, we're in trouble. So then I need to go into the details.
How has your role evolved over the 10 plus years of Creatio, from founder to now managing an 800-person organization. Has the day-to-day responsibility and activities that you're focused on kind of changed?
Significantly, of course. And I believe that crossing this chasm between being a small business entrepreneur, like SMB leader, into the scaling business, mid-sized organization business leader, into the large enterprise business leader, that's where we're going, and that's what's the aspiration of Creatio. These are three very different jobs. Absolutely. And if you ask me if my preference, like if I could select to be an entrepreneur on this product market fit stage, when you establish the company, then you try to find this product market fit, then you find the product market fit, and here you go, this is the victory, versus the CEO who scales the business to billions in revenue. Obviously, my excitement and my preference is the second one, the latter one. The work of entrepreneur, when you founded the company and you were in this process of finding the product market fit, it's extremely tough, honestly. And for structured people, organized people, it's much easier to scale the business than this initial stage. So I'm very excited that Creatio quite some time ago already completed this stage of a product market fit, and we're at the scaling mode globally right now.
It's interesting. You might actually be an outlier in the way you answer that question, Katherine. As you know, we meet and interact and invest in lots of founder-run businesses. I introduced you as founder and CEO of Creatio.
Yeah, which is true.
And you're unique in the sense that you are very much a founder and you are very much an entrepreneur, but you are also an exceptional CEO. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs and founders get to a certain scale and they get bogged down by managing big teams, and they want to get back to those entrepreneurial roots. You're always an entrepreneur, you're always seeking opportunity, but you strike me as someone who gets energy from building.
Yeah.
And it sounds like there's still a lot on the horizon for where you see Creatio. Maybe paint a picture for us on what success looks like for you as you think about Creatio, as you think about the potential of business 5, 10, 15 years down the road.
Absolutely. And the technology that we deliver, it brings most value to larger organizations, those companies who have very complex processes from one side, and at the same time, they need to change and evolve very, very fast to win the competition on the market. For example, the largest industry for Creatio would be banks and credit unions. We love working with this industry. We deliver so much value to those organizations. So the future for Creatio is covering bigger territories, bigger number of geographies, and delivering value to those largest organizations in the world, thanks to the power of no-code and AI combined together in workflow automation.
Katherine, talk to us a little bit about your leadership style. As the company's evolved, I think you have been proactive as a manager and a leader of an organization to make sure that you are adapting as the company scales. How would you describe your leadership style?
Trust and accountability. So I have very trusted relationships with my team. I trust them a lot. I feel like they trust me fully as well. But at the same time, I'm a very demanding leader, and I keep everyone accountable. Doesn't matter how much trust we have between each other. It doesn't matter that we've been working together for 10 years now, but here are the numbers that need to be delivered, so they need to be delivered, period, full stop. So this combination of trust and accountability, I don't believe it's an easy one, and I think we have these kind of relationships within the leadership team at Creatio.
I like the way you describe that, Katherine, because from where I sit, I think you've done a very good job of building a team, and you've done it in a way where you've created a culture of accountability, focus on results, high performance, yet the team around you is every bit as bought into the future of Creatio as you are. And in some ways, I think you feed off each other. When it's time to make a key hire, how do you find people that are the right fit for that type of high performance culture?
Yeah, that's again good. This all can be formalized into the framework. So it all boils down again into the list of values, into the list of soft skills, into the list of hard skills. So I would say, if you ask me if hiring is more art or science, I will definitely tell you science more than an art. Science more than an art. Obviously, gut feeling matters a lot, and the best, like at the end, we always listen to our gut feelings, and if something still bothers you, I will circle back again to the list of parameters, and I will be digging in. I will schedule another call or another meeting, and I will be digging into those competencies to try to understand what doesn't give me comfort. Because gut feeling, it always tells you that there must be something wrong, but in order to figure out what exactly is wrong, you need to go to parameters and to numbers. But yes, so 70% science, 30% art.
I want to touch on one topic, Katherine, before we get into kind of the future of technology and where you see that going. From our standpoint, we try to find interesting, high growth, high potential companies. And that in and of itself is a challenge, but we're also big believers that management teams drive outcomes. And you'll constantly hear folks in the hallways here talking about how the job of the management team is so much harder than the job of the investor. And every single day, there are different puzzles you need to solve. You have 800 employees across 14 different geographies. You have thousands of customers. There are demands on your time. And I think you have to be proactive and reactive simultaneously. We manage a portfolio of companies, and we're tracking this progress. You know, we're going to have quarterly board meetings. Obviously, we interact more frequently than that, but you're living it every single day. You know, you're fighting that pipeline. You're trying to get investments over the line. And, you know, we certainly have challenges to building a firm, and I could talk about that, but I'm not the guest on the podcast. So I'm going to ask you the question, Katherine. What are some of the biggest challenges you've faced in your time as an entrepreneur and CEO?
It's a good one. There are many. I'm thinking which one to choose. It's probably this training this habit to change all the time, because you as a manager and a leader this year must be totally different than you as a manager and a leader a year ago or 2 years ago or in 5 years from now. So having this growth mindset and change mentality, like changing the ways we operate, changing the processes, adapting to the market environment, which is obviously today is so much different than it was 2 years ago. That's probably the hardest part, the biggest challenge. Other than that, you will figure it out, like processes, frameworks. Yeah. You will always figure it out. It's in your mind. It's inside your mind. This is something you need to figure out first and foremost.
Yeah, going back to why I think your job is harder than ours, Katherine. We show up at board meetings and we ask questions. You have to answer those questions.
And you ask good questions, Sean. Very good questions, I would say.
I think the last topic I'd love to touch on, Katherine, is technology changes every single day. That's been true for a long time. In the headlines right now is artificial intelligence and how that will change not only the way software is delivered, I mean, heck, not just software, all aspects of society and technology, but also the expectations consumers of software might have. How do you see that playing out, and how do you expect Creatio as an organization to help its customers navigate that journey?
Absolutely. And AI is changing our industry a lot, and we see phenomenal potential first and foremost for our clients thanks to us implementing AI and actually building everything around AI. So the fifth industrial revolution has started thanks to AI. We're in the middle of it, if you will, right now. At Creatio, we see AI in our specific technologies in two areas. One is pretty straightforward, doing work instead of our marketeers or salespeople who use the software, or call center operators who use the software, doing the job and helping them to do simple tasks without human involvement. So this part is pretty obvious. What is the most exciting part at Creatio, where we invested the most, is utilizing AI to build platforms, to build applications, and to automate workflows without people's human engagement. So this is the most exciting part of the investment that we're making, to be able to automate your workflows and your apps and your processes actually with the help of AI, and adjust your workflows based on the analysis that AI is making out of the data that they have.
Yeah, I've heard you describe, part of the opportunity for Creatio is created upon the fact that the demand for workflow applications outstrips developer capacity.
Yes.
And a no-code platform obviously helps bridge that gap. But am I correct in hearing you that AI is just a further accelerant to help bridge that divide?
It is, but at the same time, that's a completely new way of creating application, creating workflows, or using CRM applications. I can tell you that our chief platform officer is saying, Katherine, do you actually realize that we're the last generation of people who have seen or even built applications without AI? Like, the next generation will not see it because it's all going to be around AI. So it's a completely new world.
Right. Yeah, I've heard like the future code is English.
Oh, that's exactly right.
Right.
That's exactly what's happening, and this is exactly where the investment is going at Creatio.
Well, Katherine, thank you so much for joining me today on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We are thrilled to be along for the ride with you at Creatio. What we've seen over the last few years is nothing short of remarkable. And we know that's nothing relative to what the future holds for the company. So we are excited to be along for the ride.
Thank you very much, Sean. And I feel very fortunate, very lucky to have Volition Capital as our partner, as our trusted partner for almost 4 years now.